X, YouTube. Let me see where else. You name it. I guess I'm all over the internet. So if you're watching me from some platform, please say what's happening. Let me know that you can hear me and that you can see me. And I can see some chats already over there. And I started a few minutes early because I got some information that we want to go over. Now, guys, it's 6:53. That's right. Y'all who decided to show up to class early. Oh, I had an ad? Good. Yeah, hopefully you weren't impatient and clicked off of it. Yeah. Most people be like, man, I ain't watching all. Honestly, man, it's tough sometimes. It's tough to even watch my own ads. I had one today was like 3 minutes. I was rewatching my show. It was like a 3-minute ad. I'm sitting there like, do I really got 3 minutes? I need the short attention span ads, y'all. Yeah, I need them to be like, 30 seconds, 9 seconds. That's it. That's it, man. You go past 30 seconds, I'm in trouble. But if you do have time to watch any of the ads, that's great because it does help me get paid. Along with you guys just... Okay, hey. Gizmo, attack. Apparently, somebody's knocking on my door. And I'm like, what is that? Because I don't have visitors. Hold on. Do I need to get my Malcolm X? I need to get my Malcolm X. Cover me, y'all. Hold on for a second. Let me see. Yeah, what's going on, man?
Sorry about that. I was checking to see. I can't find my gas. Can I see if you had any extra gas I can put? I think the lawnmower ran out of gas.
Check pour down my gate. My gate right there in my truck.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, the back gate. It's a whole gas can in there.
I appreciate
and it got some gas in it.
I appreciate it. I got you back, brother.
No problem, bro. Y'all see that? Kev is a nice neighbor. I'm trying to be more social, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I didn't set him up, though. Let me make sure I sent you to the right place. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. You see it? You got it? All right, brother. It's my good deed for the day, y'all. See, I'm not an ogre, as some suppose. So don't be going out telling everybody Kev is mean from Kevin's Corner. But that freaks you out. See, nowadays, you ain't used to people knocking on your door. Remember back in the day? You get a knock at the door. It ain't nothing to it, man. As a kid, you run up to the door. Your mom and them don't even be like, hey, don't go to that door yet. They let you go and open it. And you don't even check. You won't be like, who is it? You just open it. Fling it open. This is that next door neighbor. Nowadays, you get a knock at the door. You be like, what the heck is going on? What? Police? Nobody should be just coming knocking on my door. But anyway, every once in a while, my neighbors do that. And so that's pretty cool. Now, with no further ado, that killed kind of like my early start. So let's go ahead and get busy. This number right here, 330-974-4607. If you text MAGA to that number, you will be in the cool kids corner just in case something happened to me. I'll still be able to reach out to you. Then also, I do have a fundraiser link. Well, put it this way. I got links that you can contribute to the channel, which is my Cash App and my PayPal link. It's below the video. Maybe y'all might want to, do a good deed for the day and bless me with some chips. And then finally, I got Kevin's Corner Store. But first, I got to get loose. Being nice and all makes you work up a thirst. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Some G's in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, this is Kevin's Corner Store. If you want to check out some products, you can go ahead and do that before I go ahead and get busy. Because, see, most of the time I am nice until it comes down to liberals. When it comes down to the nonsense that's going on around the country, that's when I lose all civility. That's where, the superhero in me comes out. That's when the MAGA man in me comes out. MAGA man. MAGA man. I ain't just no regular man. I'm a MAGA man. That's when the MAGA man comes out. And then I got to get serious. I got to go buck wild. Because, see, my job as MAGA man is to protect the simple-minded, the vulnerable folks around the country that don't see what's going on right before their eyes. See, they're blind. They can't see. They need to wear sunglasses like KE. That's right. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and have to take the kid gloves off to talk about what's going on around the country right about now, which is the animals have escaped and they are running the zoo. And I'm talking about all of these mysterious protests that just started popping up concerning Palestine. I mean, it started off simmering, then it went to, percolating. All of a sudden it's like, it's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. It start percolating. Now it's bubbling over. It's bubbling over. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, how'd this happen? At first, everybody came down hard on all kind of people on these campuses that were even whispering a little bit of anti-Semitism. They got folks fired. They brought folks up to the Capitol. And you would think that sent the message. But for some reason, people didn't get the message. And it started to get worse. Now I'm thinking, where are all of those people who came out talking reckless at first? See, well, the zoo animals figured out how to control the zookeepers. They was like, yeah, if we, act a fool, if we do not, show up and let the folks see us, then they ain't gonna get paid. They ain't gonna get paid. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much got to do whatever we want to do. We're the attraction. And the zookeepers fell for it. Yeah, the zookeepers was like, all right, man, if the monkeys leave, ain't nobody gonna show up and then we're gonna be broke. All right, monkeys, what do you want? Everything. And that's what these people are doing right about now. That's why all of these liberal leaders can't come out and really go at these people hard as they want. But it burns me up, though, because, see, this is greater than just some college students that just woke up one day thinking they know what's going on over there in Palestine and all of that stuff. This, I think, is not organic, and that is what concerns me. So let's get into what's happening around the country, and maybe we could come to some conclusions. Here we go. What's this?
A Democrat civil war has erupted in dozens of blue cities across the nation. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian progressives have shut down bridges, highways, and airports, bringing entire cities to a standstill and wreaking havoc in their wake.
Well, now, normally I'm not one to get in the way of a civil war when it comes down to the left and the Democrats. But this civil war has potential to spill over into the rest of society. Because, see, liberalism and progressivism and radicalism never stops. It will continue to go further and further. It's like rust. It will eat the whole car up eventually. You might think you got it isolated, but if you don't cut that mess out, it will eventually spread and tear up the whole car. Right now, it's localized, and it seems like it's just affecting the Democrat Party, which it is. See, they don't even realize, man, we created monsters. And now all of a sudden, we got to figure out how to control these monsters. So on one end, I'm thinking, yeah, good. Divide the Democrat Party. Make them look bad, which they are looking real bad because these are their voters. There's no mistaking. You can't come out talking about, look at all these radical right-wingers, these MAGA, ultra-MAGA. These are ultra-MAGA folks. Nope, you can't mistake them. That's who they are. They're definitely Democrat voters. That's been trained very well how to disrupt, how to act a fool, how to get your way, how to be pretty much domestic terrorists. When you're starting to block traffic, hold folks up from their gig, who knows what's going on? Let me be riding across some Golden Gate Bridge and I got somebody I love in my car having a chest pain. Hurry up, son. Get me to the hospital, please. I'm on my way, Grandma. And I'm like, what the heck is going on up there? And I see some folks up there, free, free, Palestine, free, free. And the cops ain't doing nothing about it. I might go up there and start slinging folks off the Golden Gate Bridge. My grandmama and them got to go to the hospital. So no telling what danger these radical protesters are putting people's lives in. And it's so aggressive that you have to ask yourself, is it to sway people to believe and support what you're doing, or is it to bully you into doing it? Is it to break down society to the point where society cry out for help, just make it stop? And see, that's what this Marxist conflict theory is designed to do. Whoever is behind this is trying to disrupt society, trying to make life so miserable for the rest of us to where we go, man, look, just y'all, if y'all need more control, the government need more control. Do whatever y'all got to do to bring some stability to this country, man. We are so sick of, we done went through this, probably the same protesters that just swapped out their unis when they was going through Black Lives Matter and Antifa and sitting back watching all of that, saying, man, this is a headache, man. Okay, that's cool though. We can endure it. We can endure it. We're good. Okay, that's over. All right, good. Now all of a sudden up jumped the boogie again. So these people are using these same type of tactics, and I'm saying, wow, it seems like this is very organized. Because see, these young adults don't seem smart enough to be able to put all of this stuff together. But then the other thing is, I think some of the support that is coming to organize these kids to go out there and do that might be foreign in nature. Yeah, and when you start dealing with foreign countries that would love to destabilize your country, now it bleeds over to me. See, it jumps outside of just the division in the Democrat Party to now you're saying, wait a minute, could y'all be trying to destabilize our country? Somebody said China right there in the chat. I mean, if you think about how dumb our leaders are, it would be in China's best interest to fill our society with lots of drugs, definitely send their nationalists over here. It would be in their best interest to see America just unravel when it comes down to morality, common sense, drug addiction, you name it. Why would they sit back and say we have to worry about fighting these folks when almost half their population is hooked on drugs, mental illness? And the biggest one is the deterioration of patriotism and love for the country. Nobody would want to go out and fight for a country that they don't feel loyal to. So why not import a whole bunch of illegal immigrants that aren't loyal to the country? Why not go ahead and radicalize a whole bunch of young boys and young gals as we use corrupt, evil Democrats and probably some others to push this mess into the heads of young adults? Allow us to indoctrinate and influence your population so it will cause a whole bunch of chaos in your society. But because we see how this is working and we know the tactic, we're not going to do what you dummies are doing. We're not going to allow folks over in China to be radicalized. Now, we're not going to open up our borders and mix the culture. So now all of a sudden we got half the culture loving China and half of them disrupting everything. Yeah, we're not going to allow Japan, which Joe Biden came out and said Japan was xenophobic because they don't want to allow illegal immigrants into their country. He called them xenophobic, China xenophobic, and Russia xenophobic. And I'm thinking they're trying to protect their culture. It's not about race. Man, if you look at the Chinese culture, I hate to say it, but Americans, if we went over there, we'd tear that sucker up. Tear it up. We don't have the same culture and value system as the Japanese do. Those folks are focused and disciplined. I'd be in a math class over there like, man, this is stupid. Why I got to learn all it? Man, just give me the basics, man. I already know how 3 + 3 is. And they over going to look at this Pop-Tart. They would be looking at me and going, dude, you have dishonored your family. Yeah, the things that they value over there is different. Cleanliness, I might be able to sponge off a few things, but rumor has it is even the public bathrooms, you can eat off the toilet seat. Americans will go over there like, man, I ain't lifting this, especially guys. Man, I ain't lifting this seat. It's a public restroom. Next guy have to deal with it. We would tear Japan up. So they know that. They're like, man, look. We'll do business with America. Yeah, we'll take your money and your support. But we don't want folks coming in from all over the place and dragging our culture down, because that's what keeps us united and strong. We all believe in the same thing for the most part. We all have the same culture. And folks over here fail to realize that. And that's why our culture is being destroyed. They think it's all about race. It has nothing to do with race when it comes down to being strong as an American culture. It comes down to things you have in common and your beliefs about the country. There are some things, yes, you can go off and do whatever you want, be yourself, use your life, whatever. but there's some fundamental things as an American that we should all agree on. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, things like that. Keep the government out of our business, stuff like that. But when you start seeing people hate the country, talking about death to the country, and the leaders are going, what we supposed to do about it? I mean, well, y'all allow this type of culture to develop and encourage it. We have seen it with our own eyes over the last couple of years, where they encourage the same type of protesters during all of the BLM riots, the Antifa riots, the Summer of Love. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to ease out and settle this mess because they think that they might lose an election if they aggressively condemn this. So let's get into these dirty tactics that these folks are using and how it's impacting these campuses and our cities.
Complete chaos downtown.
Whoa, they
Palestinian demonstrators clashing with police.
Palestine will be free.
The group began demonstrating on Federal Plaza.
Y'all see all those useful idiots? Palestine will be free. Do you think that's what's going to happen? Now, what I mean by that is this. They failed to realize that this war outdates them. This beef goes back biblically for centuries. And I think for the most part, Israel would be willing to allow Palestine to exist free without terrorists threatening them. I think that's possible. But I don't think Palestine, if those same terrorists got their own state and enough weapons and firepower, would be okay with Israel living next door. I don't think so. So now they're talking about Palestine will be free. Now, what's ironic is most of these folks probably are not even from Palestine, not even from Gaza, probably never been to the Middle East. They're activists. They're young adults that have been victimized mentally. And they're looking for stuff to jump on board and say, this looks like a good cause. It's like they go through a catalog and see what's out there. Well, what do you want to be an activist over? Okay, so let me see. We have women's rights, reproductive rights. Okay, no, that's not your thing. Okay, wait a minute. We got the Palestinian oppression from Israel and the genocide that's taking place. Oh, that one sounds good. I think I'll try that one. Like it's a college course. Yeah, that is sitting back going through a whole bunch of stuff saying which one you want to be an activist over. Oh, well, let's try Palestine is suffering genocide 101. Can I take that class? So now here comes all of these people. And what's ironic is as we get a chance to see some of these protesters, I don't think they would fit in very well in Palestine.
About 3 p.m., folks with signs in hand waving their native flag.
Well, look at that.
This means just standing up for humanity. This is just basic human rights that we're fighting for.
Basic human rights that we're fighting for. Now, see, it's ironic that these people are, zeroed in on the retaliation of Israel on Hamas, but they're not talking about basic human rights and humanity, what took place in October 7th. They're not talking about that. They're not saying, well, wait a minute. A whole bunch of innocent people's basic humanity and human rights were violated when Palestine attacked Israel, and not Israel, just innocent people. And what's crazy is if any of these non-Palestinian protesters were over there, they would have been free game. I wonder if, as they would have been drugged to the ground and violated or even possibly killed, I wonder if they'd have been thinking, free Palestine. Do you think those Hamas folks would have been trying to go through and figure out which one of y'all support Palestine? You think they'd have had time to go through and vet y'all? If they would have saw you as a non-Palestinian over there in that area at that moment, you yourself probably would be in the basement somewhere hoping that America comes and get you out of it right about now. But they don't think like that. See?
Do not care if the cops don't want us on the street.
They then took to the street, but remained at a standstill on Adams between Clark and LaSalle, with more than 100 officers blocking.
These are the scenes coming out of downtown Chicago yesterday, and they were duplicated in virtually every major city throughout the country. In San Francisco, pro-Palestinian protesters shut down the Golden Gate Bridge, completely disrupting traffic for tens of thousands of commuters.
That's unbelievable. See, that's where you go beyond protesting. That's where you go beyond, you're taking hostages. Why do I have to be a hostage to your cause? I mean, let's be honest. Nobody that is held up in that traffic jam is going to say, you know, honey, I'm thinking about supporting the whole Palestinian, protests. Why don't we just turn the car off and get out and grab one of these signs and learn to chant? Free, free Palestine. That's easy enough, isn't it? Free, free Palestine. What? The kids are waiting to be picked up from school? They can wait. It's for a greater cause. Come on. Free, free Palestine. They would all be saying, if y'all don't get the heck out the way now, I'm starting to get a little upset about what's going on. Okay, every time I hear Palestine, I get mad now. For a second, I might have been like, you know what, man, that's messed up what's going on with the Palestinian citizens. You know, but see, now all of a sudden, y'all are trying to conflate the two groups of people, the Palestinian citizens, with Hamas. And y'all aren't even recognizing what caused this and led to this. Now I'm starting to say you guys are either dumb or you're on the side of the terrorists. Let's continue.
In downtown Manhattan, protesters overtook Times Square and demonstrated in front of the New York Stock Exchange. In Philadelphia, demonstrators shut down several blocks of the city, bringing traffic to a standstill.
Now you see that sister? You see this sister up there with the mic doing all of this? Let her go over to Palestine and start getting up on the mic doing this. Shut up, woman. Not allowed to speak. Go sit down. Yeah. If they would even tolerate her. Just because you black don't means that some of these radical Islamic terrorists is going to tolerate you. So here they are up here thinking that they're on board. And I'm saying some of these folks don't realize the danger that they would be in if they were there, and you're supporting these folks, and they love it. You best believe Hamas is like, that's right. We are willing to garnish all the support from these useful idiots as possible. Because see, for a while, we were suffering the bad press. We were suffering the negativity. Now we're turning the tides. Now we got Israel looking bad. They done forgot all about what we did, y'all.
Out in city after city all throughout the country. The bluest of blue spots in our nation.
That's right.
Are being plagued with protests by pro-Palestinian progressives.
Of course, because they know they can get away with that garbage in those blue cities. SO-ran cities. Because all of those Democrats are scared to say anything to their radicalized future protesters / voters.
The protests are also creating a major safety and security situation for law enforcement. And Mayor Eric Adams says the protesters flooding New York City campuses aren't just students.
People who peacefully protest for an issue, they're not throwing bottles and chairs. And so we know that we have acknowledged and saw across the country, there are people who come, have nothing to do with the issue, and they want to aggravate. We can't.
Wait a minute, Peanut. Wait a minute, Peanut Head. That's ironic because I wasn't hearing any of that during the BLM riots and all of that stuff. We knew that these people were being bussed in from all over the place. We knew that. We knew that peaceful protesters wouldn't be burning down stuff. They wouldn't be sitting back coming with umbrellas and shields and throwing up shields and umbrellas and then changing from what appeared to be a peaceful protest. And soon as the sun go down, umbrellas go up, they put on masks, gas masks. That don't look peaceful when you show up with a gas mask. It doesn't look peaceful when you show up with shields. Just like these folks don't look peaceful with their faces covered. So nobody was whining about all the stuff being thrown at the police during the George Floyd riots, when they were trying to burn down stuff, taking over areas. Nobody was talking about, wait a minute, where are these outsiders coming from? The Democrats was like, we need more. We don't have enough organic people in these areas to tear it up. See, the folks that live in that area most likely wouldn't tear up their own area. So what we're going to do is we're going to bust a whole bunch of them in. And nobody said anything. They didn't even want to investigate and see where all of them were coming from. Yeah, they just assumed all of them were just right there. You know, all of you people live here. I'm pretty sure, right? We don't have to believe. Oh wait, so you guys all live in the same neighborhood, but you just got off of a charter bus, 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, with ride gear, but nobody was questioning that then.
Can't have outside agitators come in and be disruptive to our city.
Unless they're coming in for Trump. Unless they're coming in for some racism that was made up. Unless a black person gets themselves killed by a white cop or cop in general. Then all of a sudden, bust them all in. Bust them in. Yeah, we can go ahead, exploit this situation, say that the police are racist and white nationalists, and then somehow connect it to Trump. But by doing that, though, you're also tearing down the institutions that keep our country stable. The same police now that you guys attacked during that time and allowed these people to demonize, throw stuff at, now all of a sudden, those same police got to go out there and try to control the animals in the zoo. Now, y'all zookeepers done let them out, talking about they're nice, they don't bite. And when they went crazy, now you're going, hey guys, we can't get them back in. We can't get them back in. Somebody go out and call. Now you need some folks to come in. Same people you let these radicals abuse during that time.
Students are scared. They're afraid to walk on campus. They don't deserve that. No one.
Leading teeth first. And students are scared. They're scared. You see Bucky? You see her with those snappers?
Here on a college campus should feel they're being persecuted because of their religious beliefs. I will protect them, as will the great people of the state of New York.
Will you? Will you really, Bucky? You won't be protecting nobody with those snappers. I guess they can all hide behind those 2 front teeth. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. Saw it down. That's how big her teeth are. Dragging the ground when she's walking straight up. It's what you hear when she coming. So now here she is with those 2 big Buckies and talking about she gonna protect folks. Yet her S-hole Rand City is a mess right now. You can't even protect folks in the darn subways because you guys are supplied by dark money, evil money. Folks who say, yes, I want to unravel society in America because before we bring in a globalistic unity, we have to break down the strongest and greatest country on the planet. Let the criminals go free. So all of this evil, these raggedy prosecutors, judges that y'all got, they just keep letting these folks out, these folks out. Now your city is a mess. And you're coming out here selling wolf tickets talking about that I'm gonna keep people safe. You haven't even been able to do that and with the regular citizens, and now these college students are acting a fool on campus, and you're making more promises you're not going to keep again.
What's going on with the colleges?
The boss?
Where they're closing Columbia now? I mean, it's just crazy. Columbia should gain a little strength, a little courage, and keep their school open. It's crazy because that means the other side wins. The people run.
Yep, that means the other side wins, and that's the real problem. Do you think this stuff will not spread if they keep winning these little victories? If they keep saying, wait a minute, we got away with that? Hold on, wait, we got arrested and got out? So we was allowed to occupy this joint and they kept giving us deadlines that they kept extending? What? You mean to tell me they finally just said, please leave them be? I think I like this protesting thing. Yeah, let's see how far we can go. Because that's the message that is being sent. And then you get a strong leader like this to come out and says they need to stand their ground and do something. Because right now, all the zookeepers are running for their lives. So thank you, Trump. That's how you're supposed to come out and address this and encourage these college campuses that bred this mentality. Say, don't get mad. Don't get mad. You bred this mentality. Yeah, the same liberal organizations that encourage this, allow professors to teach this, allow all of these students on campus to shut down any dissent, not allow certain speakers to come on campus. Everything was hate speech and safe places. Now all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of whiny, privileged babies on campus throwing a fit, and you don't know what to do with it. You never put the foot down. So let's continue.
In Colombia have made a grave mistake. Thank you very much, everybody.
So thank you.
So are we barreling towards something really bad happening in New York City again?
Well, what's wrong is wrong at the end of the day, whether they're not from here or they're here. And I do agree with him 100%. They do come here. They're coordinated. They're orchestrated. You know, kids nowadays don't even know how to change a light bulb. To think overnight with these cadences and things like that, it's outside agitators. And they do try to get the misinformed kids to step up there and do dumb things like get in the cop's face and throw bottles and be destructive.
That goes to show they ain't trying to change no minds. Yeah, they're trying to go ahead and catch a couple video clips going, look at this, we're being abused by the white patriarchate system because we won't leave and obey commands from the cops. And shame, look, now I'm on the ground and I got my arm behind my back because I got up in the cop's face talking trash. Now all of a sudden I'm getting arrested, but I'm the victim. So the goal is not to persuade anybody. It's to stir up trouble. Now, police are very disciplined because leftist protesters, they are antagonistic. They like to get up in your face and talk crazy. And the crazy part is none of them can fight. They're not tough. These college students look crazy. Hair all different kind of colors. But when I see a whole bunch of them show up and their faces are covered, they got masks on, and here they are all up in my face as a cop, talking stuff, calling me a pig, calling me this, calling me that, hoping that I just lose my cool. See, and then soon as one of them just kind of push a cop, and the cop grab him, oh, you're hurting me. Look, get it on video. Get it on video. Y'all see that? You see this? Get it on video. They're trying to shut down dissent. They don't want us to protest a free protest. They don't want us to do that.
We can't have it. And to be quite honest, he said it. Back in the day, I did march. I did protest, but you don't do it this way.
Right. What has the police experience been like with these protesters?
It's always disgusting. Cops go out there every single day. It's very easy to get hurt. You're getting people that try to push you and shove you and cross the line. Right. Say you do something wrong. There's cameras everywhere. It's not easy for them, but they have shown the utmost respect and restraint, and they're going to continue to do it.
Well, you mentioned the organization of this all, and the NYPD is apparently investigating who is funding these protests. People have mentioned that all...
Good question. By the way, whoever gave that in the super chat, I missed it. I did see some pop up, but thank you so much. So yeah, who is funding this? Who is funding it? Now, I do wonder, once they settle this, you know, because right now, Democrats are worried about the election. But once this all kind of dies down, if it does, and Trump wins, and these same protesters go and switch out their unis, go back to the Black Lives Matter uni, dust that one off. Go back to the Antifa gear, dust that off, and go back to the same type of tactics. Are they going to come out and say, look at this, these are protesters, it's obvious they're coming in from somewhere else. And I wonder if all these same Democrats are going to come out and say stuff like that. But the ones that should be coming out and saying stuff about it is quiet, though. See, yeah, you got the local guys like Mayor Peanut, who's dealing with it, you know, close up. He's coming out, but where are the other folks that's distant from it? Where are the big wigs? Where are the senators and the House members? Where's the president? Now, he done finally came out, and I'll be talking because this is going to get broken up into 2 nights. I ain't going to be able to finish all of this tonight. But the president finally came out and gave a raggedy statement because he got bullied into it, because this is a bad look for him if he didn't come out and do it. But hey, let's go ahead and get through this so we can touch on that tomorrow. Let's continue.
The tents look the same, things like that. Yeah, how difficult, how hard is it to get to the bottom of something like that?
It's not an easy process. We've put 2 and 2 together, and why not 10 months ago? Why not a year ago is this going on? It just so happens that we're coming up to an election and all hell's breaking loose. And it's not just happening here. It's orchestrated. It's happening in other states. And we're seeing them stop airports, stop traffic. You don't do this unless you're on some kind of system to be able to coordinate with one another.
Yeah, and then
because these kids are too dumb. They're too dumb. So it sounds like they're just professional activists that's traveling and popping up out of nowhere. But yeah, now here's the problem with this again. Where's the money coming from? Who's supporting this? Who's financing this? Now, you got some very dangerous statements being said all on these campuses. They're bringing sentiments to our country that could be a threat to society, a threat to our population, a threat to our citizens, and we got a wide open border. We got a wide open border. We got angry folks. Some of them are just dumb, useful American citizens and idiots. And then others are from other countries and others are radicalized Muslims. We don't know. We don't know. But we do know this. Somebody is egging this on. Somebody is supporting this. Now, you're telling me that the FBI can't figure this out? We act as if we are so dumb. Now, you talk about intelligence. We're supposed to have the highest intelligence. We're supposed to be able to listen in on folks. Because, sure enough, they listen in on all us conservatives and stuff. Yeah. That person right there, he walked across the front of the Capitol, and we need to go ahead and look into him. What? We need to listen to George Papadopoulos' messages. We need to go ahead and listen to Carter Page's messages. We need to listen to Donald Trump and all of this stuff. But yet you're telling me our intelligence agencies can't figure out who's supplying this? It was like during the George Floyd riots, when I'm watching videos of police officers dropping off pallets of bricks. And I'm saying nobody's going to find out who those police officers are. Or pallets of bricks just showing up. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. How about you go use those cameras to see who dropped off that big fat pallet of bricks? But you were able to use fake facial recognition and cameras to find out who grandma was that walked into the Capitol. But you can't track down who dropped off a pallet of bricks. Not once, but many times. You can't track down that lady that was, of course, dropping off riot gear to all of those young adults getting off buses out of that U-Haul. Couldn't find them. Yeah, all the intelligence. It's greater than us, boss. Director Ray, we just can't track it down. Well, it's because that money and that power might be a little too big for them to go ahead and out. Or maybe they just don't want to stop the people who are supplying and supporting this. Because you know who a lot of this goes back to, which I'm going to be talking about in a minute.
I wonder what would happen after the NYPD does discover if there is a group outside of a student organization that's funding something like this. Could they get in trouble?
Listen, you can't just stop somebody just because you think something. They have to do something criminal in order for a police officer to go up to them, right? So you kind of have to wait and watch, unfortunately, in these situations.
And that's what they're doing. These are smart people who are supporting and supplying this. They know, hey, man, we ain't do nothing. Hey, man, we're just giving to a nonprofit organization. That's all we're doing. We didn't tell them to do it. We didn't force them to do any of that. So even if they get thrown in a slammer, you can't come after us. They're the ones that chose to do that. And, we did set up some ways for them to get around getting charges pressed against them if they do get thrown in a slammer. But hey, stuff like that.
Yeah. Congresswoman, thanks so much for being on with me this morning. Governor Hochul stopping short of calling in the National Guard to Columbia University to restore order there, as some Republican senators have called for. I mean, are Hochul's words matching action in protecting Jewish students?
Nope.
Well, at this point, her rhetoric is not matching the absolute anti-Semitism and threatening of Jewish students and the glorification of Hamas, a terrorist organization, including the horrific events on October 7th.
Yeah. Because, see, these students aren't just supporting Palestine. They done went back to being malicious. I've been hearing things like, to eliminate Israel. These folks need to get prepared to be back in the oven. I mean, these are very direct, horrific statements that are being thrown out to Jewish students on campus. This is no longer just we're supporting Palestine. It's now we hate Jews, to the point where we are bringing up references to go back to Nazism that we're always calling everybody else. But now here we are referencing throwing these folks back into the gas chamber in the oven. But yet you'll call every MAGA person Nazi. Hey, yeah, that's what you are. You guys are Nazis. Now, where is creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe? I mean, because remember, guys, he was very vocal about MAGA, ultra MAGA folks. The greatest threat to the homeland is MAGA folks. Now, where is he at now? Why ain't he coming out saying the greatest threat to the homeland are radicalized leftists who are talking about the extinction of Jews, who hate the country, who is saying the country needs to go, death to America. That right there seems a little more dangerous than MAGA folks who love the country. I'm just saying. I mean, if we're guilty of anything, it's us loving the country, loving the Constitution, You know, all of that stuff, wanting to keep our society safe. Stuff like that. Yeah, but yet these folks who hate the country and is talking about what should happen to all these Jewish students, he's not coming out with the devil background. Where's Joe? Where's Joe with the Marines standing behind him and the devil background talking about these pro-Palestinian radicals who support Hamas is the greatest threat to the homeland. Make no mistake. He's not doing that. That's because he's hoping they'll be his voters.
No sane person can do that. But as you can see by all the video footage across all networks, it looks very aggressive. Many students have been arrested. The New York PD under Eric Adams have come in. But where's Kathy Hochul? I think it's time for the National Guard. They need assistance. This is
right there. That looks like J6 right there. Looks like an insurrection's taking place on all of these campuses.
Out, not just in Columbia, NYU, now we're seeing Yale, and across the nation. And this isn't anything new. This has been going on for years, this anti-Semitism, and it's now bubbling to the top. And I think with help from money from Hamas indirectly into our communities.
Yeah. So I bet you Hamas, Iran, I bet you they're all chipping in to help this because it helps their cause. It changes the perception of what they did, takes the heat off of them. Go ahead, create some dumb, useful idiots, allies in America, advocates for us, and disrupt society, become a pain in society's butt, and hopefully they'll turn on Israel and get off of our backs. Hopefully that's what'll happen. So they're trying to bully us into changing our foreign policies.
And we've seen it for the past 7 months, but this seems this is something different. This is beyond a boiling point. You've joined with all 10 House Republicans from New York in urging Columbia University's president to resign. She says tensions on her campus are being amplified by individuals not affiliated with Columbia. What's your response to that?
Well, that's a curious statement because in our Ways and Means Committee earlier this year, we had an overview of these 501c3, 501c4 organizations that use IRS protections and are not allowed to engage in political activity. And it was interesting to find out where the derivation of these funds are. So she brings up that point. We think that many of these grassroots, I think they're astroturfed, meaning that they're not just spontaneous by students, are coming from money overseas. Potentially, it could be from Hamas interests. They could be from other terrorist-like organizations.
Yeah, but it's impossible for us to trace it. Can't figure it out. Now, all we can do is just stop right there at the protesters. Can't arrest one of them and shake them down. Can't find out who's the leader. Can't find out what organizations are donating and trace that money back. FBI is useless when it comes down to trying to track down real terrorists and foreigners just trying to unravel our society. But sure can go after Catholics, though. That's what they can do. So right there, I don't know what to do, boss. I'm lost. I just got a radical kid here just laying on the ground. I have no idea how he got here. All of these tents, maybe they all anteed up. Yeah, we have no curiosity to go ahead and start finding out, wait a minute. How's this all jumping up at once? How do they all have the same tents? Who are the people coordinating this? Who seems to be the leader? No curiosity at all. So our FBI is silent. And yet the Democrats talking about what is it? They then came up with something they just recently said, anti-Semitic, some anti-Semitic whatever. Just something on paper to say, we condemn anti-Semitism, but there's nothing to lay out what that means, how they're stopping it, how they're addressing it. It's just, look, we condemned it and this and that. But go ahead and keep doing what you're doing on campus. And these are verbal threats that these kids are getting. These aren't just, things like what they accuse conservatives of, saying things that hurt people's feelings. Yeah, our words are just violence because we say we don't believe kids should be going through transition. That's violence. You're unexisting them. No, these folks are talking about real violence.
Sponsored by Iran, for example, that are against the interests of the United States. It It doesn't, it's not coincidental that these are happening everywhere. Nope. And we saw this actually starting
and we're dumb enough to let it happen.
University, where soon after these horrible attacks, we had a professor call these events of October 7th exhilarating. This is where people were murdered, children were burned alive. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the kind of horrific activity that should not be tolerated on college campuses. There's certainly First Amendment, free speech, but this is violence and this is hatred toward Jewish people. And you see a double standard. Why aren't these colleges standing up for Jewish students? As
good point. See, why aren't they doing that? Now, here's the crazy part about what she's saying here. First of all, when professors are coming out after what took place in October and saying this is exhilarating, that means that they've been working hard. They've been working hard to create the mentality that we see manifesting itself on these college campuses. Number two, why do all of these kids and young adults look like social misfits? They all look weird. I'm sitting there going, what in the world? See, who wants to be a part of these type of protesters and folks like this? I don't see how folks can associate themselves with the left, especially the radical left. I'm thinking they all seem like misfits that weren't invited to the prom. And now they decide we're going to get even with society and disrupt it. And nobody showed up at my birthday party. Now I got to go in and paint my fingernails black, start dressing like a vampire, or drop Kool-Aid all in my hair. I want to look as crazy and weird as possible so people can take me serious when I get out protesting. I look at them all as crazy. When I see them taking their mugshots, I'm going, all these folks are crazy. Kev is too cool to be posted up in here talking about free Palestine. You look kind of weird. You're just going to go out there and rock that in your hair? Okay, I don't want anybody to think I'm weird too. Maybe I shouldn't be in this crowd with you all. I'm going to go over here with the same people. They all look nuts.
As they would for any other student.
Yeah. Lastly, before I let you go, what about from the federal level? I mean, President Biden coming out yesterday condemning both anti-Semitic protests on campuses and also those who don't understand what's going on with Palestinians, but didn't go so far as to say Colombia's president should resign. Is he being forceful enough, or is he playing both sides ahead of November?
Of course he's playing both sides.
Look, I think he is not showing moral clarity. There is a clear line here.
He doesn't have moral clarity. Democrats don't have that mess. Their moral clarity differs day by day depending on how advantageous it is. Wait, are we going to lose those votes? All right, today we're going to blow this way. Oh, wait, we're going to lose donations from this group. Let's blow back over here. They have no moral compass. Their compass is all over the place. So, of course, he's going to come out. I condemn hate speech and I condemn anti-Semitism, but I also condemn with Israel. He's going to try to balance that out and get the best of both worlds.
Terrorism, probably underscored and promoted by terrorist organizations overseas. He is, he's equivocal about who's at fault. Clearly, the Hamas is at fault.
Clearly. And look who he was hanging out with. Was that AOC? We're about to hear from AOC in a second.
We can't support a terrorist regime. Israel is our strong ally, but I think the president is compromised because this president is behind in the polls. And cynically, he is actually afraid to stand up for Israel because there's one district in Michigan that could determine this entire election, a swing state with Rashida Tlaib's district, which is the ground zero for the ceasefire movement, and her strong actions in support of Hamas.
I hate to say it, y'all, but I'm telling you, I'd be a bully. All of the weird looking kids, and that's an old lady, right? No, that's the young lady who looks like an old lady. Yeah, but as they're getting taken off, all I see is nerds. I would be the guy right there as they're getting taken. Nerds! Hey, guys, let's get them. Hey, police, don't worry. We got it. If I was in college, man, I'd be like, hold up. Who are all these people taking up campus so we can't get to school? Like those frat dudes who went out there and raised the flag. At some point, man, college students, if the police aren't going to do it and the folks on campus, the leaders on campus is allowing these kids to have their way, it's going to come to fisticuffs at some point. You're going to get some students who aren't even political, but they're just sick of hearing this mess. Here you are in your dorm, you're hearing them outside all night, free Palestine, harassing folks. You just, man, you know what? How about the football team just go out there and drag them off since nobody else is dragging them off? Yeah, see him kick and scream, get off me, you white nationalists. I'm black. Now shut your mouth and drag you off campus somewhere.
Indirectly by supporting this false narrative coming out of the Palestinian state against the Israelis. And I think that's where the president is afraid to stand up to terrorism, because he doesn't want to lose the votes that these grassroots sort of astroturfed type of student demonstrations are showing.
So they got the Democrats by the testes. That's what they got. Yeah, man. Finally, the squad done dug in and go, oh, yeah. See, you need one state. And right now, Sharita Tlaib, or whatever her name is, she got a lot of pull over there. Got a lot of pull. See, they dismissed the mob at first. They underestimated the squad, rather. They underestimated them, their influence. Now they figured out how to leverage their influence. And Biden got to sit back and tiptoe around it. So that's why he's not coming out making a definitive stance against this.
And so as long as he's going to make it political, we aren't going to see these stop, because they're getting traction.
Yeah,
and the president needs to stand up now and take a
them.
strong stand for peace and also for our First Amendment that is also protected.
Several faculty members at NYU and some students led away in handcuffs last night.
It's one of several pro-Palestinian protests happening at college campuses throughout the city that has ended with the police getting involved.
When things really started to heat up here yesterday afternoon, the university asked all student protesters to disperse by 4 o'clock. They did not comply with those orders, and as a result, police were brought in to de-escalate the situation.
Wow. So wait. They didn't comply? They drew the line in the sand? Make us leave. Does that sound like peaceful protesters? Does that sound like people who's just trying to get their message out? No, they done nestled in. And then what happened when the cops showed up?
Intervened to take down the tents and to clear out all of the demonstrators. They are still on site here barricading the plaza this morning. They have been here all night, and now it appears that workers are putting up a plywood wall to block this area as a result of those demonstrations. Tensions reached a boiling point at NYU last night, where pro-Palestinian demonstrators clashed with police clad in riot gear.
It's about to get physical.
NYPD officers moved in to break up the demonstration after protesters breached safety barriers set up at Gould Plaza. Police warned protesters to disperse or risk being charged with trespassing, but many of them would not comply. Sky Fox
wouldn't comply. Now look at that. Is this a J6 I'm looking at? That's what I'm wondering. Where's the National Guard? Why isn't everybody coming out and saying, you know what, these right here are radical, anti-Semitic folks. The rise of anti-Semitism is the greatest threat to the homeland, and it ain't coming from MAGA folks. Ain't coming from us. Nah. Yeah. Most MAGA folks support Israel. And they definitely do not support disobeying the rules when it comes down to a protest. First of all, people on the right only protest when it's something serious. What do all these people do for a living? I mean, all of these students right here, I'm thinking, you don't want to graduate? How many days off have you taken? How much learning have you missed out here in the middle of the courtyard talking about free, free Palestine? And those that don't go to the campus to show up, I'm like, what do you do? This is what do you do for a living? Protest? Who got the time to do that? For me to get up and say, let's all go down there and do this, it has to be something deadly serious. And it might be one and done. But I'm not going to spend weeks at a time in a tent, sitting out here, acting a fool, and then listen to what they're going to ask for now that they're out there being radical protesters and stuff like that.
Flew overhead as some demonstrators formed a human chain outside the Stern Business School. The melee resulted...
Look at that. Nerd! Y'all see that guy right there? Nerd!
In dozens of arrests, with the head of campus safety writing in a statement, we witnessed disorderly, disruptive, and antagonizing behavior that has interfered with the safety and security of our community.
Excuse me. Uh-oh.
A protest started early in the morning when students announced they would be setting up a solidarity encampment with Columbia University and other schools.
Now look at those. Look at those impressionable, just dumb kids, man. This is what burns me up. And as we close, you'll see what I'm talking about. But how do you let your kid get caught up into this? I mean, you know, Maybe some of the parents support this. And if you're Muslim, you might have a connection or a sympathetic heart towards this. But these little white kids, these black kids, all of that stuff, they didn't grow up in Palestine. They don't know the history of this. I mean, if I looked on TV and I saw my kid occupying the middle of the courtyard, mask on, getting arrested, and doing even worse, as we're about to see, I would dart down there so quick to snatch them out of college. And these college campuses are so soft. They're not even taking into consideration the damage politically and just from a PR perspective that's taking place on their campus. Nobody's enrolling there. If I see this going on, I'm like, son, you ain't going to that school. Not after what I just saw. No, my brother, you're going to community college, or should I say community college, like Joe Biden says, community college.
Across the nation in response to Israel's ongoing war in Gaza. At least 40 people were arrested at Yale University following days of tense protests.
Now I'm wondering if they're going to get 20 years for insurrection. You think so? Now I wonder if all of these folks right here that didn't get arrested, I wonder if they're going to be able to use facial recognition and commit all of those resources for the FBI to go after each one of them for the next 3 or 4 years. You think that might happen, y'all? See, so no. They allow them to come with their faces covered, though. No facial recognition be used there.
Many demonstrations, though, were largely peaceful, with pro-Palestinian organizers calling for an immediate ceasefire and demanding their schools divest from companies that sell weapons to Israel.
What? But here comes the useful idiots. Useful idiot alert. Gotta warn you. Here comes the useful idiot.
And here I am standing with the Palestinian people against the genocide that they're facing right now, being done in my name as a Jewish person that I do not support.
You don't know what you're saying, do you? You don't know what you're talking about. I need Anton Sugar right now. You don't know what you're talking about, do you? You see the little Jewish kid right here? I stand with the Palestinian people, the genocide, and stand with that. And I'm sitting there saying, you're a useful idiot. A complete 100% useful idiot. You don't realize, little Jewish man, that if you happen to have been home or went back just to visit Israel, during the time that those random Hamas folks flew down and start killing random folks, they didn't ask if they were Jewish, some of them were American, they didn't care. He would have been on the chopping block. The useful idiot right there. Not to mention, I stand against the genocide. If it was a genocide, it would be over already. Israel has the ability to wipe them off the map. But yet, this must be the slowest moving genocide I've ever seen. If Hitler had access to a way to completely eliminate the Jews all at once, you don't think he would have did that? Huh? You think he would have said, nah, I want to go slower. You know what? I think just by he would have wiped them out if he could have. This fool right here talking about the gender, all of them who say that. And I sit back and say, man, what's stopping Israel then from just destroying them all? I mean, just send some type of bomb over there, blow them all off the map. But yet they're always talking about the genocide of that.
The protest sparked counter demonstrations at Columbia, where some Jewish students have expressed safety concerns.
As you mentioned, there were 120 people arrested last night, according to the NYPD. 116 of those were released and given summons for trespassing. And
what? Wait a minute. Released and given a summons for trespassing? That's kind of like the same thing those people on J6 did, but they got like 5-6 years, some of them. Felonies and all of that. They were accused of insurrection and all of this stuff. But these guys, hey, you know what? You're just trespassing. Now, don't do it again, you crazy kid. Go on back out there and get in your tent. Go on back out there.
NYU last night issued a statement saying that the events did not need to lead to that outcome, did not need to lead to those arrests. But again, they believe people not affiliated with the university are the people who began to cause some of the issues later on in the evening. There were reports of anti-Semitic incidents, anti-Semitic comments. That's when the NYPD was called in. Again, the NYU spokesperson issuing a statement that they believe that was caused by outside agitators.
So now what? Where is everybody coming out talking about that's hate speech? The greatest threat and all of this stuff and the rise of, where's the Democrats? They can't politicize this? They can't replace MAGA folks and right-wing extremism with these people? They can't do that? Because it seemed like they just trumped us. All of this stuff seems way worse than what they're accusing all of us MAGA folks of doing. I'm sitting there going, wow, I don't see any video footage of us doing any of this stuff right here. Wonder. I'm just wondering. Oh, here comes a stupid faculty alert. Y'all ready for this? So the same faculty that think that they're winning over all of these radical leftists, teaching them how to be, anti-system and fight the system and protest and all of this stuff and, all of that mess that they got them out there doing. Well, guess what? To show them how much they appreciate all of that, look what happened when they invited a couple of them to their house.
Fast. Not only from the
Wait a minute. The last day of Ramadan, UC Berkeley law professor assaults a hijab something. So now they invited these people to their crib, and then all of a sudden she just grabs a mic and starts going off and then won't leave the property.
Fast, not only from my house. We have attorneys. We have attorneys. Okay, you don't have to get aggressive.
Please leave our house. You are guests at our house.
Oh, no, you taught them how to do that, see? Now you want them to leave. Please leave our house. No, we're not leaving till we get our way.
First Amendment right.
No.
Oh, her First Amendment right to stay in your crib. Man, some of these kids need a swift kick in the butt. So now you're going to go ahead, post up in their crib, grab the mic, start talking whatever, and when they ask you to leave, you're talking about, nope, I ain't going nowhere. It's my First Amendment right.
My house.
Good, you guys are getting what y'all deserve.
Protesters smashing the door at Hamilton Hall at Columbia University.
That doesn't look like mostly peaceful. That right there looks like property damage. Somebody's going to have to pay for it.
Overnight, these protesters using these violent tactics to get inside the building, demanding the schools follow their demands.
Demands? Oh, look at that.
Was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration. I look around what's happening at places like Columbia, and the inmates are allowed to run the asylum.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't work that way, DeSantis. Because, see, he said down there in Florida, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But, on these liberal campuses and in these liberal cities and stuff like that, they done went ahead and created the crazies. They unleashed the crazies. Now they're running for their lives.
Several students were arrested. As the unrest upends education in America, questions are swirling about how to contain the growing protests.
The police and the SWAT teams were called in last night to clear the protesters. Of 14 arrests, the NOPD says 2 were students.
What? So 2 out of 14 were students? Wow. So who were the other 12? Paid protesters. No wonder they all look homeless. A lot of them look drugged out. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of them, they like, look, we need you to go down to campus, put this mask on, and just start harassing the police and saying, here's it. Just read this thing right here. I want you to go ahead and just read this thing over and over again. You like crack? Do you like crack? What drug are you on? What drug are you on? Okay. Hey, somebody go get this guy some heroin. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give you a shot of heroin, okay? Because we want you to be right when you go down there and do this, okay? All right. So go down there and do this, and we'll hit you with some heroin, okay? You want another dose? Once the job is over, we'll give you another dose. They all look like they're crazy. The ones that aren't students. The ones that students just look dumb and like useful idiots with Kool-Aid in their hair. Then you got some, you go, that dude doesn't go to that school. This chick, man, doesn't go here. And it's obvious. So now, why are these people there and who sent them there?
Which makes sense given this video that we acquired from...
Like these brothers. Look at these brothers.
There would be a ceasefire if Hamas would release the hostages.
Good point.
You're sympathizing with terrorists. They murdered. These are Islamic terrorists.
Now, why are these guys sitting here in full-blown mask in the summer?
You're an Islamic terrorist, aren't you? I know you are. I see you.
Don't look like students. Don't look like students. Look like grown men. And this other one look like a skinny version of Spider-Man.
I see y'all.
What you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do about it?
Okay, wait. He was first of all obtained by Raymond Roy. I love that video. He spoke to a member of the SWAT team who arrested these protesters. What did he tell you?
Yeah, you know what he told me? He believes this is a dry run for November. And it kind of took my breath away when he said that. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, this is a chance for these activists to light up their network through social media.
Or October, before the election.
Correct.
See? And that's why I said most of the time I don't get in the way of a civil war with the Democrats. But when it appears to be something bigger, I got to keep my eye on it. See, when they do these little dry runs and I'm going, see, these are the type of behaviors, if not checked, will be turned on us like they were. And they will grow. And this will become the norm. And it would continue to unravel society as we know it. And this will be the format that they will use to get their way in every other category and area. Tear up neighborhoods, tear up the streets, invade buildings, threaten folks, do all of this stuff until folks break down and give them their way. Now, I might tolerate this just a little longer because it's damaging the Democrats so badly. I'm like, don't stop it yet. Wait, you just let a little more. I want it to stink. I want it to dig in and twist. Yeah, I want it to break the Democrat Party first. But I don't want this mess to go unpunished. Yeah, these folks need to learn that, hey, after you finish with your temper tantrum, I'm about to lay the hammer down on you. So everybody after you know this is not what we should be doing. Because, see, I don't want them dragging this into November, which they probably will.
Yeah, and to test the police, to test the prosecutors, and the public appetite for this kind of anarchy in the streets. It certainly feels like something much more than Gaza policy driving this work. And with the people financing it, with elements like this who are not students at these universities in the main, this is outrageous, and we really should watch it closely and see who's behind it. And look, at Northwestern University, you're going to love this, they negotiated with the protesters and announced today they would grant full scholarships to Palestinian students and guarantee faculty jobs to Palestinian instructors. Terrorism apparently wins.
Apparently you can negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah. Can you believe that, Monkey Shine? Can you believe that razzmatazz? Can you believe that gibberish? So they broke down? Man, you never break down and succumb to that. Man, you have lost the victory. You are now, like I told y'all the story of the kid Taji that I had on the first date try to make me the monkey in the middle. And I was willing to lose my job, for respect. Same thing when I went to another school. This 5th grade class went through, I think, like 3 teachers already. They sent me in the classroom. So I'm giving them my speech. I'm here to straighten things out. I'm not going to tolerate anything like what y'all other teachers been tolerating. I'm telling y'all right now. And little girl going to come in, you know what? I don't mean to be disrespectful and all. And I'm going, yeah, you do. You're about to be. You're about to be disrespectful. You led in with that. Let me know. Here's some disrespect coming. But go ahead. Well, I mean, we done had 3 other teachers already. And they came in, they said the same thing. What makes you different? What makes you think it's going to work? I said, well, it's because I'm willing to lose my job for respect. What that mean? You figure it out. Fill in the blanks. There's no way I'm going to let 5th graders control the classroom and get their way. Fine, just go ahead and talk. Fine, just go to the bathroom whenever y'all want to. Fine. Man, I would have went to the slammer, but I'd have had my respect as they're pulling me away. Yeah, with the crazy face. Yeah, you'll never forget me though. Won't you, huh? Yeah. I'm not going to let that happen. Because if I let that happen, then the animals will run the zoo the whole dang on year. Oh, but look at this. Look what these cops did. Oh, look at that form. Woo-hoo! That looked like me back in the day. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that strong, masculine, liberal young man with that purple and blue and stuff in his hair up against that grown man right there. Let's see that form again. I'm loving it.
Announced today they would grant full scholarships to Palestinian students.
On a cold day in November, linebacker, Mr. Police Officer, came in out of nowhere.
Guarantee faculty jobs to Palestinian
with a face-up tackle. Let's see that tackle again. Y'all ready? Look at the form. Breaking all 5 ribs on that liberal. Then picked him up. Look at him. Get off me! Get off me! Shut up. Oh, Oh, you want to lay down? You want to throw a tantrum? Get your butt. You know what? You want to wear your tail out. You gonna die? You gonna just go? Get that? I'll carry your butt over. I love that. He came in. Dun 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 dun. I bet you that dude didn't know what hit him. Went down and then gonna try to collapse like most little kids do. Pick him up just like you would do your kid if they collapse in the middle of the store somewhere. I want some Fritos. Nope, no Fritos for you today. I want the Fritos. I said, you want to act up in the store and fall out? You think I'm gonna let you grab you by that foot, have you upside down while I'm taking you to the car? Might be wear you out on the way, spinning you to make sure you're well done on every side by the foot. So that guy got drug off. What else? Look at this. Look at these.
Right.
What are they saying?
We've got the white frat boys throwing away protesters' belongings, and we've got the pigs in brown doing nothing about it. Although.
Now you hear? You hear these mouths? We got the frat boys throwing it. So now y'all try to hang up a Palestinian flag in America. And the frat boys come down, take that mess down. And you got the frat boys taking away our stuff. As you just took away property that don't belong to you by snatching the American flag down and raising up the Palestinian flag. And then when the cops come in, they're now all of a sudden the pigs.
We are being forced off campus.
We are being forced off campus.
Pigs in brown.
What I found is
these people have no life. They don't know what they're doing. These are the dumbest people, man. And I'm saying to myself, y'all are such useful idiots. Useful idiots, man. Hopefully one day you'll mature and say, I can't even believe I allowed myself to be used like that. How stupid was I down there saying that? What did I think I was going to do? What change did I think I was going to bring? What was the end game? Did I think I would make a difference? Did you think? See, and this is the problem with this radical mentality. These protesters, these radicalized kids, they will never stop. That's why Yuri, I forget his last name, that talked about them being useful idiots. He said once the process of destabilizing the country is complete and the regime that they want it to be set up is in place, they can no longer tolerate those useful idiots because they're programmed to go from one issue to the next. They're programmed to find the next problem. Well, yes, there it is. I forget how to pronounce it. Is it Bezim? Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. I just call him Yuri all the time. Yeah, Bezim, something like that. But they will never quit. Right now, if they do a ceasefire, you think these folks will stop right there? Nope. It'll be now we want a two-state solution and let's go tear some more stuff up. Now we want Israel completely wiped off the map. Yeah, let's tear more stuff up. It would be, and if that was settled, then they go to another problem. And so they're always going to be this way unless they get snapped out of it. Once they get snapped out of it, then they're going, I was a useful idiot. I was contributing to the destruction of my whole country and society and our way of life that I didn't even realize how great it was. I allowed them to usher in some bootleg communism or Marxism, and they used me to do it.
Is, you know, these people that do this stuff in these other parts of the country, they do it because there's never any repercussions.
There you go.
And so they just get away with it. The minute you tell one of these people you're not going to get graduate from Columbia, you're expelled, you will see a change of behavior. That's just the reality.
Seen protests overnight, Virginia Commonwealth, UT Austin. I saw some protests from my alma mater, my law school, UCLA. A Jewish student literally being prevented from walking from one part of campus to another, literally being blocked. And when he moved, the protesters moved to block him as well.
Well, that doesn't sound like a peaceful protest. That sounds like these kids hate Jews. Now, what's crazy about this is I'm saying to myself, what does these American Jews have to do with what's going on over there? I mean, this is what befuddles me. How are you guys over here harassing and threatening and intimidating Jewish students going to influence what's going on over there? What about all the Jews that weren't born over there? They're like, man, dude, I ain't even ever been to Israel. What are you talking about? But just because I'm Jewish, now you're getting into that, Germany, Russia type hate just because they're Jews. But we'll be the first ones to talk about hate and racism and anti-Semitic stuff, and you all are Nazis. First to do that, but now they're targeting and harassing folks that are Jewish. Interesting, but it's being tolerated way beyond what it should be. Because if they were doing this to black college students, right now they would have all kind of deputy sheriffs in there and National Guard. If they were doing this to if they were doing this to the trans community, oh man, they might go in with machine guns out open fire, weapons hot.
What do you think about what's going on our quote-unquote institutions of higher learning?
The inmates are quite literally taking over the asylum, and it's the weak leadership from that administration and administrations across the country that have caused this, and this is going to be a ripple effect. There are going to be students across the United States, mostly in blue cities and states, that are going to see what happened at Columbia overnight. They're going to take that as their pass and their cue, and they're going to do horrific things, maybe as bad as what's happening at Columbia, maybe even worse. And it's the administrators that are completely and entirely to blame for this. These students don't just come up with these ideas and feel so entitled and emboldened on their own. They sit back, they observe, they watch the actions. Now, despite what they're displaying to us, these are intelligent students. These are mostly intelligent people. So they're quite aware of the actions with no consequences, and they're going to do as much as they can do, and they're going to push the bounds.
And actually, they're not intelligent. They're actually dumb. They're useful idiots. However, it doesn't take intelligence to learn what you can do and what you can't do. Kids, little kids, start to push boundaries. 1 and 2 years old, they start realizing what I can get away with and what I can't. They're not intelligent. They just observe. Puppies, like my dog, he knows what he can get away with and what he can't get away with. And that is why when he goes out to the edge, close to the street, to mark his territory, and he looks back at me every time going, how far can I go? I know I'm pushing it. I'm waiting for him to go, hey, get back here. Yeah, he knows, but he's not super intelligent. He's just able to look at scenarios and say, I think I can get away with this. So if kids could do that, these folks can too. They ain't got to be intelligent. But what is more intelligent is the people who's controlling and using these useful idiots and making them feel like they can get away with it. Yes, allowing no consequences to take place and giving them confidence that we got away with that. What else can we do?
The limits until somebody says no.
But why is it so hard for them just to say that protesters who are interfering with the rights of others, who are trespassing or in violation of university rules or the law should be punished? What's so hard about that? Well,
what is so hard about that? Where are these Democrats? Why aren't they coming out saying this is an atrocity? These anti-Semitic students right here, this right here is hate speech. We condemn it, we disavow, and these people are the greatest threat to the campuses and to our society.
A lame explanation from Annie Huster, supposedly a moderate Democrat congresswoman from Hampshire.
Let's hear what
she said. It's complicated enough for us with the range of opinions and height of emotions we have without weighing in on what colleges should be doing.
What? That was her way out, but it ain't complicated when she wants to weigh in on Trump supporters and ultra MAGA and Trump and his racism and bloodbaths and all of that stuff. Not controversial then. No nuance. No nuance there. It's all black and white. It's all black and white. But now it's complicated, so I'm just going to stay out of it.
Oh, my Lord. These people are just lost at this point.
They are. Oh, but wait, it gets worse. Here we go, y'all. Planet Marxist alert. Y'all ready for this?
Is right next to the encampment that has been set up for days. And below, images of hostages still being held in Gaza, right next to the Israeli flag.
Okay.
How do you think this will translate?
Oh, here come one of the Planet Marxists right there. Coming in trying to look like a superstar, y'all. Got her little jacket on, her sunglasses, and trying to pretend that she's still a legitimate Muslim. Yeah, got her little, whatever you call that, burqa on. Head wrapped up just to let everybody know I'm still down with the cause, even though I broke up with and left my real husband after marrying my brother. And then I married the white devil. But now I'm going to show up. Now I wonder if she would be walking around Palestine like that. I wonder if she'd be so cool if she was over. You think she would make it into Congress? You think she'd be one of the leaders over there in Palestine with Hamas? You think she'll be sitting around the table talking with Hamas leadership about how they should proceed? You think she would be doing that over there? She would be shut up and put in room. Your day is Tuesday, one of many wives. So now let's continue hearing the planet Marxists in our government and see what she got to say about these Jewish students.
To the Jewish students who are facing anti-Semitism here on campus. So I actually met a lot of Jewish students that are in the encampments.
I met a lot of Jewish students that are in the encampments.
And I think it is really unfortunate that people don't care about the fact that all Jewish kids should be kept safe and that we should not have to tolerate anti-Semitism or bigotry for all Jewish students, whether...
Okay, so now she's giving her disclaimer because she already knows the spotlight's on her. So she got to pretend that she loves Jewish students too and they should be treated fairly. Yeah, so I got to go through my speech. I condemn that these folks shouldn't be treated any fairly. I condemn all racism. I condemn all anti-Semitism. But now watch what she says right after.
They are pro-genocide or anti-genocide.
Oh, whether they are for genocide or anti-genocide. You see that little nugget slipped in by the Marxists? So now you're one of two type of Jews. Okay. Either you're a Jewish person who sympathizes with Hamas and is dumb enough to allow yourself to be used and you're posted up in those camps, or you're a Jew that just want to be left alone, go to class, stay out of this mess, and mind your business. Therefore, you know what? You support genocide. Because this is exactly what this is. It's exactly. So you know how she feels about Israel. She hates Israel. If she thinks Israel, she tried to drop that subliminal message and she sent a signal to all of those radicals on that campus that I'm with you guys. I look at this the way you guys look at it. This right here is genocide. So nobody will ask this bootleg looking Muslim about, hey, why don't Israel just blow them off the map and hurry up with the genocide? It's taking too long. Why won't they do that, Ilhan Omar? Yeah, let her explain that. So nasty. But wait, we got another one.
AOC says the police are the problem.
What?
What we're
Here's another one. Here's another plant.
seeing here is just a history. We have a history in this country of student activism and student protest. To see a university call police enforcement in on the very students whose safety they are in charge of, I think is extremely alarming.
What? She was more like a doodle queen on a doodle screen. I pay no mind, but what do you mean? She's a congresswoman. She's LC. She's bubblehead #1. So now, instead of focusing on all them breaking windows, fighting with the police, and all of that, she's talking about, you know what, those universities should have never called in those police to deal with all of these folks occupying buildings. I heard they even took 2 maintenance people hostage. Yeah, it's their problem. It's their fault. Not only it is their fault for even tolerating this and not putting a hammer down on these kids sooner. But here she comes in and focuses on them. She's protecting the radicals. So we already know she's a plant, a mold.
Morning Joe, who knows what defund the police did to Democrats, are terrified this is Joe Biden's January 6th.
We've all been sitting and watching this going, what the hell is going on? What are these universities doing? Why aren't they doing something? And I'll echo the horror that this does look like January 6th.
Oh, no, you didn't. Were y'all out there saying that about what was going on during the Summer of Love? Or were y'all saying President Trump wants to send in the white nationalist police to go ahead and shut all these peaceful protesters down, and he's a water hosing them and stuff just to get photo ops and all of that? Now that it might hurt Biden, what is going on there? Shut that mess down. Somebody do something.
A terrible example for our students.
Biden, who can't stop talking about January 6th, is hiding under his desk. Michael Moore says if Biden doesn't get it together, Trump's president.
I'd like to speak to one particular individual, and that is President Biden. His chance of not being reelected, I think at this point, is so great. We're going to lose the election. We're going to lose Michigan.
So you're not worried about what's really going on and the students that are being harassed and intimidated and the violence. You're just worried about the election, huh, Michael Moore? That's the most important thing to you. And it's also the most important thing to Biden, and that's why he's not saying anything. And when he did come out and said something, it was garbage. It was innocuous. See, that's why. He don't care nothing about them Jewish students being harassed. He worried about not being voted in by all of those radicals up there in Michigan. That's what he's worried about. And here you are too. You're worried about it. You're like, stop it, but not for the right reasons. Stop them, but not for the right reasons. Stop them so you can win, because we don't want Trump to win. Listen to this big fat beluga right here.
If we don't turn this around, if President Biden doesn't turn this around, that is going to do more to put Trump back in the White House.
And I
refuse to have Donald Trump
Who
back
you?
in the White House.
Who are you? Who are you, man? I refuse. You ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna. So that's what they're worried about, y'all. They're worried about the optics of this, because see, this right here correlates with the radical left. Yep. I don't see no MAGA hats in there. Hard to spin this one. Make it seem like it's all motivated by Trump. So nobody likes to see chaos in society. And Biden is the president at the current moment when all of this chaos is going on. So he's being tied to it. Oh, so now let's get back to the dummies on campus.
Biggest threat in the world today! Biggest threat in the world today! Biggest threat in the world today!
Is radicals like y'all? Uh-oh, look at this. Looks like they're doing something. Are they trying to hang a Palestinian flag? You hear them raggedy voices? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Why is your face covered, pal? Why is your face covered? And what were you doing in that building? Oh, I see what you were doing in it. Look at this. Oh, well, look at that. Wow. Oh, yeah, that looks worse than the Capitol did. Oh, look at that. Okay. Beat students here. Okay, let's see. Oh, what? Free Palestine. Wrote all on the walls. Free Gaza. And look at this. Uh-oh, rugby match with the police. Get your tail over here, you little nasty snotty. Stop storming. What's your name? Look at that. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. They're like, yeah, do something to us. So we could come out and make y'all look like y'all are the red, the brown shirts, and y'all are hurting us. And we're just here standing our ground, peaceful protesters that won't obey the commands of the law. And then when y'all drag us off, all of a sudden, what's your name? Hey, let's state this. Yeah, they are organized. They know just how to get a reaction so they can go ahead and politicize it. Yeah, and then look at all of these dummies. All of these American students who think they're standing in solidarity with Palestine are now learning some type of speech and bowing down to Allah, and they don't even know what Islam is about. But they don't care. Look at them. Look at all of them, y'all. Now, once again, this would be that moment. If I recognize my kid face down out there, I'll be like, hey, ain't that the campus my son is at? My daughter's at? Wait a minute. Let me hold on for a second. Let me get my glasses. I know that ain't my boy out there face down. Oh, yeah. You know what? Start the man truck. I'm on my way. So now let's hear what they got them doing.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, all those white kids. Look at them. Yeah, they're learning how to say Allah Akbar. Okay. Look at them. They done switch religions that quick. Most of them. Look. Those don't look like all Muslims.
It's absolutely insane. But the reason I'm showing you that is these kids whose brains have been broken are now submitting to Allah. Is that what liberalism is all about? I suppose perhaps it is at the end road.
Yeah, it is, Dave Rubin. Because see, liberalism doesn't allow you to think for yourself. It's groupthink. That's how you get radicals like this. That is why it is important to use identity politics and to group weak-minded people together and cause a grievance or make them feel like they're oppressed. Get them all thinking like sheep. You can control them. So now all of a sudden, get them all pumped up, make them think that they're fighting for something good, and then have somebody come out and that guy could have chanted anything. Those folks that don't even know what he's saying, probably repeating it and submitting to it. He could be doing anything. He could be a devil worshiper for all they know. They don't care. They're sitting there like, yes, we support you and we're standing in solidarity. Have no idea what you're saying.
Of what the left has become is just a complete group of people who have no idea what they think, submitting to something that would gladly behead them.
Thank you. That's what they all need the reality of. And it burns me up that they're too dumb to see it. It's amazing how all of these young radical groups that be talking about we're lesbians and gays for Palestine, they would all be beheaded. All them white kids in there talking about Allah Akbar, they would have all been victims on October 7th, all of them. And yet here are these dummies over here just submitting, have no idea. And guess who's laughing about it?
So here's a good one for you. This is from the New York Post. Got a headline for you.
It gets worse.
Banned Colombia anti-Israel camp ringleader Kaimani James once said they...
Now, why is that black dude got some type of rap on his head? Is he Muslim? And wait a minute. You think the Muslims would tolerate a man that sounds like this?
Hate white people. He once said they hate white people. They have to, oh God, you see why I read that wrong? Because it's not grammatically correct to call someone they. I'll try to read it one more time. Banned Colombia anti-Israel camp ringleader Kaimani James once said they hate white people and wanted to work for AOC. First off, New York Post people, stop giving in to these morons. He's a he. He sounds like a she. I don't know what genitals he has, but he's not a they. I know that much.
Well, he's not a they, but his name is Kamani whatever. And I'm pretty sure that the Palestinians will respect his pronouns. Hello, Kamani. Welcome to Palestine. How do you want me to address you? They? Okay. They, would you please come and... you think they would be okay with they? Or they call that dude crazy and probably drag him out there in the middle of the courtyard and do some bad things to him.
Okay.
So let's hear him. Here we go. Here's useful idiot alert.
Always stand on business. Zionists, they don't deserve to live comfortably, let alone Zionists don't deserve to live. The same way we're very comfortable accepting that Nazis don't deserve to live, fascists don't deserve to live, racists don't deserve to live, Zionists, they shouldn't live in this world.
What? First things first, he needs some bass in the voice. He needs some bass in the voice. Come on, some bass in the voice. So Kamani done lost all of his bass somehow. So now this dude right here who's talking about racism and all of these things, talking out of his nostrils that they don't deserve to live. As this dude is talking about white folks, the racist is saying racists don't deserve to live. Now, isn't that funny? This is the problem with radicalized leftists. They don't realize the hypocrisy. They don't realize the projection. They don't realize that they are the very fascists, the very racists that they're accusing everybody else of being. That's why they're useful idiots. Have no idea. And see, remember, he's not a George Soros. He's not up there controlling this and manipulating the people. He's not the puppet master. This dude is down there on the front line of being a useful idiot. So that means he believes what he's talking about. He believes it. Let's finish hearing Kamadi with no bass talking about these people don't deserve to live.
If we're truly in it, and when I say in it, if we're truly living life...
Who have entered the camp!
This in the room?
Entered the camp! We are going to create a human chain! We are going to create a human chain! Where I am standing! Where I am standing! So that they do not pass this point! They do not pass this point!
You hear the sheep? You hear the sheep? How in the world can anybody follow Kamani? Just the lack of bass alone. As a grown man, I can't follow that guy. He has no bass in his voice. Yeah. Immediately, I feel like I could take over the whole pride. If I'm a lion and I show up and I see Kamani running the pride, right there, I'm going, wait a minute, that's the guy? That's the lion right there that everybody's repeating and following? Oh, I'm about to eat him. All right, I'm about to take over this whole pride. because Kamani has no bass in the voice. So now here he is making these statements and all these videos. We're just okay, whatever you said, Kamani. We're just saying what you say. No tough leadership when it comes down to the radical left. No real strong men. All of them look weak and frail. All of them are passive. All of them are stupid. And you got Kamani, who thinks he'd be accepted by the Palestinian government as he accused Zionists of being racist and not supposed to be alive and stuff.
And infringe upon our privacy. And infringe upon our privacy. And try to disrupt our community. Disrupt our community. Please join me in this chain. Please join me in this chain.
Look at that. Just chanting.
What? Where is Barack Obama when you need a drone strike on Americans? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah, he's furious. He's furious with it. But guys, it's one more clip before we go. We ain't gonna be able to finish. It's already an hour and a half. Look at this next one, y'all.
So Zionists don't deserve to live, just like Nazis, fascists, racists don't
according to Kamani.
deserve to live. You see that thing that I'm always talking about, that thin veneer of progressive tolerance, and right beneath it is something so nasty and authoritarian and evil. That's what these people believe. Also, as he's chanting out there, it's like, oh, we're going to create a wall so people can't invade our privacy. You do realize you're invading other people's privacy. You're infringing on other people's rights. But I know it's a one-way street with these people. Anyway, the video that we showed you where he's talking to the camera, he or she or they or whatever it is, that was shown to Columbia administrators weeks ago.
Weeks ago?
Weeks ago. And they didn't suspend him.
And they let him stay?
About killing people. Anyway, here he is defending himself over those.
Well, let's hear Kamani come back and explain what he was talking about before we go.
Comments and really just digging the hole deeper.
My name is Sasha Wakadaway. I'm one of the associate directors in the Center for Student Success and Intervention.
I'm Kamani James. I use he, she, they pronouns.
Nobody cares.
I'm Kamani James. I use he, she, they pronouns.
How many demons are in you if you're going by they? That's my question. Boy, I tell you.
Zionists in my DM wanting to meet up and fight. I don't fight to injure or for there to be a winner or a loser. I fight to kill. See y'all in New York, January 2024.
Oh.
So that's specifically what we're going to be discussing today. Do you see?
You see how tough he is? Y'all see how tough he is with his gloss? Y'all see how tough Kamani is with his do-rag and his gloss on his lips? But he's talking about eliminating people?
That's problematic in any way?
No.
Do you think that there's a serious weight in taking someone else's life?
I think there is a serious weight in taking someone's life. And at the same time, I think that taking someone's life in certain case scenarios is necessary and better for the overall world.
Now he's starting to sound like Hitler. Yes, that's right. We are justified for getting rid of the Jews because they're so evil. Sounds like Hitler to me, but watch what he says though.
And so I personally have never killed anyone. Thank the Lord that no one has put me in that position.
And I'm so glad you don't have power, Kamani, with no bass in the voice. Because if you did, it sounds like you would get rid of all the Zionist Jews. Sounds like you would go ahead and order a hit. Won't do it yourself. Because you're not man enough to do it. All right? Now, I don't care how many days are in you. You're not tough enough to go out and do it your voice. I mean, your voice. Yourself. Yeah, you're not tough enough to go out there and do it. I read somebody would just put bass in the voice. And that's what got me right there, the subliminal. But yeah, he's not tough enough to do it. But if you gave Kamani with no bass in the voice some power, you don't think he would eliminate all of these people he's talking about? Oh, but in some cases, it's justified to do it.
Though, when Hitler died, the world rejoiced.
Oh.
Everyone looks back at that time period and said that Hitler needed to die because he was exacting an immense amount of harm against the world.
Like you would do, Kamani. Just like you would do. Now, isn't that crazy? Deciding who lives, who dies, all of that. These people are evil enough and should be eliminated. And you know, there are some times where, you know, you just justified in wiping some folks out. And then going to use a Hitler reference as he's also using Hitler's philosophy about Zionist Jews. They're going to point out Hitler was evil and should have been eliminated. But I want those Jews eliminated too, though. I want those Jews eliminated too. This is how bad these folks are. Useful idiot, Kamani.
And so, just like that, during the Haitian Revolution, their Haitian slaves had to kill their masters in order to gain their independence. And these were masters who were white supremacists. What is a Zionist? A white supremacist.
Now, what the heck does this dude got to do with any of this? Is Kamani from Palestine? Is he a part of Hamas? Do you think they would tolerate Hamani over there? Listen to this. Look, Dave Room disgusted.
Sorry, my brain had to turn back on. We are all dumber for having listened to that.
Yeah.
A Zionist is a white supremacist. Someone who thinks that Jews have a little something to do with the ancient land of Israel is a white supremacist. This idiot doesn't realize he would be on the side of Hitler. Now, Hitler wouldn't have been so thrilled with him. Hitler would have smacked a big, giant pink triangle on his head and thrown him
And neither would the Palestinians. Neither would Hamas be tolerant to Kamani James right there. Immediately, wait a minute, stop talking. No bass in the voice. Where is this man's bass? Someone go get the bass. If you don't have bass, we can't count you as real man. So now, since you're not real man and not woman, what are you? Get rid of this guy right now.
As he's talking about, you know what, this is all about freedom, and you gotta fight for your freedom and stuff.
As he sits over here with no bass in the voice, enjoying all kind of freedom. Isn't that ironic? That useful dumb idiot right there.
But even all of that aside, the way you see how close this is now to where they will burst forth with real violence and they will say it will be completely justified. So they're taking the language as close as they can to the edge of the First Amendment, right? But what he's really telling you is violence absolutely is necessary and we will do it. And then what they will do, and I guarantee you this is coming.
Yep.
They will have a bunch of gender confused, drugged up kids who hate their country and hate their lives and hate their bodies and everything else, and they will commit violence in the name of this. Anyway.
And that's where they're going with this, and that's why I said, this right here, I normally would just say, let them eat each other. But I see where this is going. You get enough people who thinks like that, we got us a problem. And our leadership is importing folks like that. They've tolerated this. They've tried to make friends and they tried to appease and they're tiptoeing around it and they're allowing it to take place and deeply take hold of our society and especially with the young folks.
Now you're going to see something seriously disturbing.
We got to end on this. Look at this. Y'all ready for this? This was in the thumbnail. I didn't even believe this one.
Genderqueer weirdo trying to murder people was enough. This is Sydney University Palestine Camp, Sydney, Australia, University Palestine Camp. And listen to what they are having 5-year-old children do.
Man, Western countries are so dumb. They are so dumb. I'm like, you do realize, man, you're destroying the fabric of your own culture. You're bringing in ideology that hates your culture. They don't love Western values. They don't love it, man. But here they got kids up there chanting this stuff, thinking we're standing in solidarity to the people who would probably behead us. Anti-Fada. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Free, free Gaza! 5678 Israel is a terrorist state. 5678 you're supporting genocide.
Mommy, did that Islamist just behead you? I thought I said free Palestine enough. You know what?
Funny, but it's true. Funny, but it's true. Yeah, see, because remember, those folks from Gaza, when they floated down, they killed children too. They killed children. They killed children. They killed women. All of these women over here that's brainwashing their kids from Australia. And I was looking at them. A lot of white kids, a lot of white women. Probably thinking, look at us, we're doing our part to free Palestine. And I'm going, you would be doing your part to get slaughtered over there along with your kids. Wondering, why can these people do this? Why are they so mean? We told them we stand with them. We support their cause. Good. Now, shut up, woman. Get ready for beheading. Unbelievable, man.
No, it's coming. These idiots. I mean, hearing these people with their Australian accents cheer for this stuff. Yeah. What's coming is the Islamists are just using them. They are the pawns, as I said before, just like these college kids are the pawns. And then one day when the Islamists are like, oh, there's more of us than there are of you, or we got it to critical mass, they won't even need 50-50 parity.
True.
It will be over. It'll be over for Australia. It'll be over for all of these people. And again, putting aside what you might think about anything as it relates to Israel or Gaza or any of this stuff, having children, young children, scream about an intifada. Intifada is armed revolution. Buses blowing up, suicide bombers, stabbings in the street, cars ramming into families. Like that maybe I'm doing parenting wrong because we haven't gotten into any of that stuff with the kids yet. They're only 18 months. Who knows? Anyway, here's some more child abuse. This is Virginia Tech.
Here's the last one. This is in America, y'all. Unbelievable. Ready? This right here is unbelievable.
Right here in the good old US of A.
Virginia Tech?
When Palestine is under attack, what do we do? When Palestine is under attack, what do we do? When Yemen is under attack, what do we do? Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Whose kid is that? And that black dude standing up there next to him. How many of these black folks been to Palestine?
I mean, all right, let's try it a different way. That is obviously evil, and that is brainwashing to an extraordinary degree. And again, you think, like the Hamas guys that are watching TV underground right now, they must be laughing.
There you go.
Like they must be thinking this is seriously the funniest fucking thing in the history of the world. Got to be. We've got 5-year-olds in Australia and in Virginia screaming free Palestine. Meanwhile, we've got, we just raped this woman over here who maybe is pregnant right now, and she's still trapped underground, this Israeli woman, right? Yeah. But if you think that's insane,
That just goes to really, it hits home, because they are. The Palestinian Hamas leaders and Iranians and all of them are sitting there cracking up. Probably like, these idiots fell for this. How in the world did we get them over there cheering and rooting for us after what we did? This worked out better than I thought. Did y'all believe this, man? Did you see the kids? Do you see the kids? Run that back. Rewind that right there. Say, free Palestine, free. Yeah, you know what? We might spare him if we'd have caught him over here. We might spare that kid because he is cute. He is cute. The rest of them we would behead, though. We'd behead. Unbelievable. They got to be celebrating. And they're probably celebrating the fact that we got Ilhan Omar in Congress running around, spreading this mess. Tlaib, the rest of the squad. They're probably like, man, we done infiltrated America so deeply throughout the years. This is brilliant. This is working out better than we ever thought. We the one start this whole skirmish. We the one attack innocent students. And at the end of the day, America's society is unraveling, supporting us. Wow. How do we do it? And then you get this.
I'm now going to show. This is so banana. This is going on the all-time list. We're busting out the list.
This right here.
This is top insanity as it pertains to freeing Palestine.
Free Palestine. What's this?
Today what we're going to do is going to shout,
what?
Free Palestine. Can I hear that?
Free Palestine!
If you're a drag queen and you know it, shout,
Free Palestine!
Wait a minute. Why is there some type of creature standing in front of kids talking about free Palestine with all kind of white makeup on? I don't understand. How did that mythical creature get in there, and why are those parents allowing that mythical creature to tell their kids to free Palestine? What else did this mythical creature say?
if you're a drag queen and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout.
If you're a drag queen and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout Free Palestine. So it's a twofer. One is telling these kids, I want you to be a drag queen. If you're a drag queen and you know it. So therefore, you know, kids are always going to agree, especially if it's a little song and it's a book in front of them. So basically all of you drag queen kids, not to mention at the end of the drag queen indoctrination, I'm going to tell you a free Palestine, because I'm sure the drag queen would be accepted over there in Palestine. I'm sure this drag queen would be praised over there in Palestine.
How is this real life? How is this real life? Remember that video, that kid after the dentist? Daddy, is this real life? That famous internet video? That's where we're at right now. There you have an adult man dressed up like a childlike doll woman. You have this genderqueer weirdo who, if that stepped foot into Gaza, would be beheaded or thrown off a roof, indoctrinating young people to chant this shit, and the parents are okay with it. It is so psychotic that
I know, Dave. It's hard to find words.
No, I'm running out of words.
Me too. Me too. So he went ahead and laid it out. That's the irony of it. So you got a transgender dude up there looking crazy as all get up, telling the kids that if you're a transgender and you know it, free Palestine. Now, how do you know the Palestinian Hamas leaders are cracking up over that? Cracking up. They got to be like, even we got these dummies who they're not even aware that they wouldn't even exist. Now, they always talking about, you're trying to make us unexist. You're trying to make us unexist, the transgender community, you don't want us to exist. You think they would tolerate your existence in Palestine if Hamas had control? Do you think that, you big fat dummy? And the parents is just as dumb as that big fat dumb drag queen talking about if you're transgender and you know it, say free Palestine. Those parents are just as dumb. Man, God help me if I walked in to pick my kid up early and didn't know that they was doing this and this was going on. I walk in, all right, where's my son? Oh, he's down in a little storytelling thing. And I go down and I hear that. I will walk and say, okay, who hired the clown? Oh, that's not a clown. Wait a minute. Is that a man, woman? Is that and what are they trying to tell my kid to do? Freak. I'm telling you, I go berserk. It'll be straight Tasmanian devil in there. Going crazy. But it's no crazier than what the world is right about now. When you got people like that talking about some free Palestine and parents sitting there going, free Palestine if you're transgender. Come on, sing, honey. Good grief. God bless y'all. God bless America. I ain't going to be able to finish. I told y'all we will finish the rest tomorrow because the craziness don't stop. So I'm going to keep it hot. So tomorrow, same time, same place. It's Friday. We'll have a little bit more fun exposing all of this nonsense going around because the end of the show is going to be a kipper. So you got to come back tomorrow. So for all those who gave in the super chat, I appreciate you. All of those that are supporting the chat. Oh, somebody said they need some gizmo in their life. Free Gizmo. Free Gizmo. Yeah, there you go. Gizmo had more bass in his voice than Kabaddi. Yeah, ain't that right, Gizmo? Gizmo got bass in the voice. I got some bass in the voice. I got my bass in the voice. I won't have a dog talking about some bass in the voice. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Hit that like button. If you want to help out with the channel, there are links below the video to do that. Cash App, PayPal. If you want to check out the store, please do that as well. Every little thing you do helps. Make sure that you like the video on the way out. And make sure you subscribe and still subscribe. And follow my other alternative channel and all the other links below. Just follow me. Just every one of them. Click, 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 bam. So let me go ahead and take a bath after watching all of this nonsense tonight. I got to wash it off. And then we'll be back to get dirty and filled up with more nonsense tomorrow that I'm going to have to scrub off too. So God bless y'all. God bless America. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Oh, yeah. Free America from these dummies. Boy, that's what we should be singing. Free. All city. Yeah. Take care.